be alright. Every single tear in my life left behind. Won't you let me be the one standing here, always have your back. Be the one, like you're always by my side. Give me a light, just let me be the one, see the light at the tunnel, and be the one, hold your hands with no light when you're sad. Flowers, sunshine, white dress, and you'll never feel so right. Fireworks, kisses, tears, all the smile. Dreaming at night. Sunrise, empty room, I wake up, no one by my side. I found myself missing you all the time, all the time. Turn on the radio and our memories. Every single moment we had flashing back. Remember those songs you used to like. Sing along the whole way back. I'll be fine. Won't you let me be the one standing here, always have your back. Be the one, like you're always by my side. Give me a light, just let me be the one, see the light at the tunnel, and be the one, hold your hands with no light when you're sad. Flowers, sunshine, white dress, and you'll never feel so right. Fireworks, kisses, tears, all the smile. Dreaming at night. Sunrise, empty room, I wake up, no one by my side. I found myself missing you all the time, all the time. Let me be the one standing here, always have your back. Be the one, like you're always by my side. Let me be the one.
What up, Quincy? Are you hopping in the chat or nah? Jump into chit chat and I'll pull you in. I'll pull you in when I go to start up stream. What is up, everyone? Hey, what up, Quincy?
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
What you been up to today?
Mostly it's like been chilling. Like came home like early today. They caught up on the rest of my sleep. Was probably gonna draw today, but I'm like, no, it's like, well, was gonna probably stream today, but I'm like, oh, it's too late, so now I don't want to. Kind of just taking a miniature break from stream.
Sweet. We got Kalen dropping in here. I think he said he's gonna go to the bathroom and then he's gonna hop into chat.
Okay. Yeah, today's the fucking SRB stream, right?
Unfortunately, no. I still have to finish.
Oh.
JR is not feeling super great. He worked today and he says his back's not feeling super great. To top it off, we haven't finished the Sprite for the big stream.
Uh-huh.
And so what we're probably going to end up doing is we're probably going to I still have to email him back, but I got some word from the writer that I'm working with on the comic, some NDA stuff that I can't really super get into, but it was, to me, it's a big deal. So I'm gonna try to clear out my commissions if I can. I got two commissions from JR and I got one from Kalen that I gotta try to polish off. But
yeah, which you definitely reminded me that I have to finish the rest of mine.
Yeah. So I got to do that, and then I got to do some concept art for radio, and I finally got the word from the writer back, and so I'm gonna start cover work soon too. So I got a lot going on. I'm gonna try to get the sprite work done too, though, if I can. I'll probably do that off stream while we're just chilling out or whatever.
Yeah.
But until then, we're gonna, if anything, I'm either gonna try to do commissions tonight or I'm gonna try to draw a shadow piece for Shadow Generations. Right. And we'll probably go full podcast mode if we do that.
Nice. I'm all here for it.
Yep, which is why we're in the streamers club. That way it's just whoever's gonna be in here will be in here.
Gotcha.
No surprise visitors or anything.
And here we have a special guest, Kurt Thornton, the voice of Shadow himself. No.
I wish. Oh, but super cool that Kurt got a Jaden Animations thumbnail.
Oh yeah, it's like no, it's not that he got one. He is Jaden's thumbnail artist.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like just about I could probably just look back for how long, but no, it's he's been Jaden's thumbnail artist for I think, what, 2 years? Almost?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Kalen?
Hey,
Oh.
there's our boy.
Everything is on 100. Everything was on 100.
Wow.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing way better now that I have proper volume control.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we
So what are we?
are we getting I'm gonna message JR real quick and see if we're gonna get him in the stream before I get too deep into it.
All right, what are we doing?
I'm either gonna do one of two things. Either we're gonna work on commissions that I need to finish up before I start working on radio concepts and the cover.
Okay.
Or if everybody's feeling up to it, we are going to go full podcast mode and we're going to talk about Shadow Generations while I draw a shadow piece.
I'm ready for both.
I'm
yeah,
also ready for both.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, James, I just looked at it. He did. It's like on Jaden's second channel, like her gaming channel. He's done. It's like, yeah, he's done the one for her Pokemon Violet stream. That one I remember. He did another one for when her and Jacob did a Soul Link, and he just did the most recent one. So he's been. It's like, so she's commissioned him 3 times over the
Hang on.
like, over the course of a year. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy to me. I had one person ask about a thumbnail from me. Do you know who Breton Boy is?
It's probably come across my timeline once, but generally no.
He does raps for video games and anime. And he's asked me about them, but I've never actually like sat down and had a thumbnail. Surus the Skeptic, he was part of Sunset City podcast. I did a Klonoa thumbnail for him a while back.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I ended up doing a thumbnail for Hugbees. Like, dude it's like completely, it's like randomly messaged me, and it was fitting the thumbnail I ended up doing for him because it was a video for I think it was called like Andrew. Like, yeah, I could probably find it again. It's like, but it was basically a duck that it's like, or a goose that wore sneakers. And he just asked me to do, it's like, can you, it's like, just make a goose doing the Sonic Adventure pose in Jordans? And I'm like, say no more.
Oh, dude, that pose is iconic.
It's literally Sonic's second most iconic pose. It's like the first one obviously being the finger wag.
It truly is magical.
Yeah, because it's just such a dynamic looking pose.
Dude,
like, it just...
Yuakawa's early work was amazing.
Yep. Like, it follows that, it's like fucking, it's like Joey, it's like, I literally just learned about it the other day, and now I am struggling to do it, but it's like, it's just the natural curvature that just appears and everything, and it just does that to a T, where I'm like, bro, you could just spin this around, and it just works.
Right. I like all of Yuakawa's work, but there is something there's just so much personality that's to be seen in Adventure 1 and 2's promotional and cover art and stuff.
It's because the movements are just so exaggerated.
Mm-hmm. Everything's so corporate nowadays. You can ask Kalen. I bitch about it constantly. Like, I hate stiff corporate looks.
It's like, no, I'm 100% there with you. I mostly see it in like the Mario renders, like early on, where I'm just looking like, bro, they look just so plastic. Like they look like they're not, like the early Mario ones. A lot of them just look like they're not finished.
I'd say from Sonic 4 and Colors on, we had roughly the same problem.
Yeah, well, that's because straight up they've been using the same like render models since Shadow the Hedgehog. That's not a joke.
Right.
And it looks ugly.
What, you don't like the lip flap?
No, I don't. It's like no, I don't like the somewhat pursed lips
My
to the point
timing
where
is so atrocious, but
it's like yeah, it's like I don't like the pursed lips to where it just makes them look like a fucking underlined U. I really don't like that.
pardon.
We're talking about the promotional art. We miss Yuakawa's like old style from like Adventure.
Oh, I see.
Everything's just a CGI model now.
Yeah, it's I definitely do miss the more 2D art style. I think it was a lot more stylish.
I thought there was something cool about the idea that you could buy a game, pull the manual out, and you'd see various different art styles differing from game to game.
Yeah.
Like it just everybody got a chance to shine, but now they just have this big folder full of their assets.
I was like, thanks, but we're gonna go a different way, and it's like you didn't even go enough of the first way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. In terms of like favorite style that Sonic's ever had, Riders went so hard for no reason.
Oh, Riders was stupid hard. Loved Riders artwork, especially their anime intro.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Which makes it even better because it's made by the same animation studio that does Attack on Titan.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. When I found that out, that blew my mind. But it makes sense because if you look at it, it's like the thick, bold outlines and
Right.
like it screams Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I did not start recording. I only started streaming. Okay, now
I
we're
need-
recording.
Yep. I again, like the more we see it, the more it happens. I'm like, just give me another Sonic anime.
You know what? I don't need to. You know what? I'll keep it on just in case.
I'll probably just download the VOD.
If I
Let me
download,
ask you a question.
what's up?
Yeah, sure. I didn't mean to cut you off there. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, typically if I download VODs offline, I get lower resolution than what I have. And my computer seems to handle streaming and recording pretty well at the same time. So I just record and I have the VOD saved in a folder that I can edit. I don't even have to go online and download everything.
All right, bet.
Well, okay. So
Go
to
ahead.
pose the question,
Go for
let's
it.
say we actually do get a Sonic anime. My question is, would you have them creating new stuff, or would you have them do previous titles in an anime style?
That really depends. If you sat down and you told me that Powerhouse was going to do a Sonic and the Black Knight anime, I would scream. I would love it. But in the same breath, if Powerhouse was to sit down and go, hey, listen, we want to do an anime that is in the vein of the games that is another Sonic story that you just get to watch, I would equally be excited.
Honestly, the more that I think about it, I realistically don't even need an anime. I just kind of want them to do what Pokemon does with like Pokemon Generations or like Pokemon Origins. Like just basically it's like give me that with a bit more of like more episodes dedicated to like the more story like driven games. So like Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic 06 if they felt bold. And I will just be fine.
I think a lot of X's charm came from the idea that they retold a couple stories from the Dreamcast era.
Well, yeah, it's like I think
But-
season 2 is undoubtedly like the best. Like is undoubtedly the best season of Sonic X, and I think it's just cool. It's like it's just solely based off the fact that it's cool to see a game portrayed as an anime.
Yeah. But I guess I could go either way. I think there's some stories that would have done better as an anime form, like Black Knight. Secret Rings probably would have gone harder if it was an anime. But Black Knight 100%. Black Knight screams shonen energy.
Yep.
It does.
Like
Sonic Shuffle.
Yeah. Sure.
That's what you're feeling.
Sonic Triple Trouble.
No, Sonic
Okay.
Sonic Blast
Sonic Blast.
for the Game Gear, man.
Sonic Robo Blast 2.
When they tried to be
is-
Donkey Kong and failed horribly.
That is the ugliest Sonic game I think in existence. I'm gonna go that far.
It's
Yeah.
honestly, I can't disagree with you there. It's
I'm
it's
trying to
it's
think
a
of anything
very
that even comes
there's
close.
there's a very small pool of ugly looking Sonic games, and that is definitely swimming in there.
He looks like the McDonald's 3D model.
oh,
even
Oh,
if it-
are you talking? Oh, I was like, are you talking about the fucking shitty European one, the fucking Sonic basketball?
I thought it was Pakistani. Am I getting stuff mixed up?
No, it's Pakistani.
Dude, like
I think you're right.
it's disturbing how ugly those models are. And like that's what sucks too, because like the pixelization was horrible and you were pixelating an already ugly model. There was no winning.
It looks like it looks like they crunched the Mario 64 UI sprites, like header sprites from
Mhm.
Mario Party, and
Yep.
then just said, we can make an entire game out of this.
It's I hate to summarize, but I'm just gonna summarize it with ew.
Ew, right. This is Kalen's Sonic ick.
It is my Sonic. This is a Sonic Underground moment for gaming. I just can't. I can't do it.
How do people still defend that goddamn show? I don't understand.
For me, it is purely nostalgia. That is the only reason I like that show, and I am willing.
Triplets
I am
born,
ready to
throne
admit that.
awaits.
See your bones of the dead. Ooh.
Oh,
Pavlovian response.
oh god, just like at the drop of a hat too.
Dude, it activates a neuron that I think is specifically created for that show.
I can't stop. I must dance.
Dance.
Oh,
Yeah, that.
Dance, monkey, dance.
See,
mm,
yeah. All right. We're gonna go into our stuff because, what I'm gonna say is gonna lead into probably the inevitable conversation that we're gonna be talking about. I messaged
Sure.
JR. He hasn't gotten back. So, anyway, we'll start off. How you boys doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm doing
right.
great.
We are going full blown podcast mode for the next, I want to say, hour.
Okay.
So at 9:30,
We just cut it off.
Yeah, we'll cut off.
Like, no, it's like we could just be, it's like still in the midst of just having a very, it's like topical conversation, just hit 9:30 and everyone shut up.
And shut up. No, I'll make sure towards 9:30 we start trailing off. Anyway,
All right, I got my music. I am ready to discuss whatever we're discussing. Shadow Generations?
yes. So the topic is Shadow Generations. Are you guys excited about it?
Oh my word. Who wants to go first?
I'll wait on
Yeah,
you
I
guys.
guess. Kalen, do you want to go, or it's like just want to have me go?
Quincy, why don't you start us off? I'll go second.
Okay, so I am excited, cautiously optimistic, because it's like it's the thing where I'm understanding where it's like, yeah, Sonic Generations, it's like amazing game, despite it's like what the current internet trend is to say whatever the fuck it is. It's like that's going on with the game because this is Sonic and we can't have anything nice. But yeah, it's still a really great Sonic game. Easy, it's like to pick up, just it's like phenomenal gameplay. But it's also the thing where I'm like, yeah, it's cool that this is getting ported, but also like once I stop and think about it, I'm like, this is the same thing they did with Colors Ultimate. But it's not going to have I see that it's not going to have a lot of the same faults because this is being done in house, so it's not going to have so it's not going to be blind scrolled it up. But it's still one of the things where it's like, yeah, it's already you can play it on like all current gen hardware. So it's like I get it. It's like they're doing a thing where it's like, oh, people probably can't play this game, but it's like, yeah, but most people have the ability to play this on new hardware. Like anyone can go and pick this game up off of like their current like gen Xbox or like PlayStation. It's like, is this available on PlayStation? I have no idea. The point is, it's available on current gen Xbox and PC. But I also say it's a good thing that I can be able to play this on my Switch. Because most people, who think outside of playing 3DS, no one really got like the ability to play Sonic Generations outside of people who had like a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 at the time.
Mhm.
And them just adding on new Shadow content, like it's like really cool. So I get the thing where people are more concerned
for instance,
about it's like, oh, they're probably just not gonna it's like add much to just like base generations. And I'm like, I get that, but at the same time, do they really have to? Like, I'm not saying this in lieu of just like, oh, it's just like just Sega, they can do whatever they want. I'm just saying it's because Sonic Generations just solidly, I'm just viewing this through gameplay, is already a well done enough game. Just it's like more specifically like the modern parts. It's like the classic parts. It's like are fine too, but it's like if they wanted to it's like do more quality of life things instead of just like the missions, because a lot of the missions are just superfluous in that game.
That is true.
And like the idea of just having to be literally it's like gate kept by it's like having to go collect keys is just the level padding is dumb.
Yeah, I wish they were
It's
mandatory.
like, but yeah, it's like just adding more quality of life changes, and if they wanted to, it's like add more, it's like new content to just like base generations. Maybe it's like retweak a lot of it's like Sonic's story or lack thereof. But yeah, it's like outside of it, I'm just it's like as the game as it's gonna like come packaged, I'm just going to it's like sit and wait of just okay, the shadow stuff's gonna it's like be cool. I already know base generations. I might need to see just a little bit more. If I don't have a little bit more, I'm still fine with there just being base generations just getting updated. That's fine.
Real quick.
That was a lot for
Hi, Bean.
Okay.
Are you being good for mom?
You mean have you been good for mom?
Have you been good for mom? All right. Kaylin, what about you? How are you feeling about Generations being a remaster along with some extra content?
Are we talking about Generations solely, or are we talking about like the total package?
I would say the whole package.
Okay, so for me, this is going to be really funny because Generations is the most bland, straightforward story we have had in a Sonic game. Like, it's very, okay, Eggman's doing something evil, go stop him. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
with the little we've gotten, like the very little we've gotten, it's already clear there's going to be something to this Shadow story. Like, from what they're saying, this is going to have like some ramifications on Shadow. Like, it's going to have actual lore impact on him. So like, it's a bizarre decision to me because this is such a Sonic fan thing to say, but like part of me almost wishes they just committed and like didn't bother touching up a port of Generations, considering you can already get it on pretty much everything.
Right.
And just put even more manpower into the Shadow thing. And like, not to say that I'm mad at it or even disappointed. It's just one of those things where like I kind of wish they had done one over the other. But if this is what we're getting, then I'm totally fine with that because I love Generations. I've always loved Generations. And even if they don't touch anything up, the Shadow story still just looks that good that I'm not going to care. Like, I will be invested in this game. I hope that they actually do something with Shadow story and it's not just kind of what Generations did, where it's like, here's all this potential for a deeper story and then you get literally nothing. Like, if Black Doom is just back and they don't do anything with him, I am going to be disappointed. Like, I'm hoping there's some deeper reason. Like, I'm hoping they actually play into Shadow's character a little bit. Because we're at a point where, like, I love Sonic for his gameplay, don't get me wrong. But these are characters that can afford to be deep, a lot deeper than they have been. And I would really like to see that happen.
Especially in a post-Frontiers era where
yes, absolutely,
done more to to rectify a lot of the mistakes that they've made with the characterization of all these characters.
It almost feels like, and this is total, I have no way of validating this, but it almost feels like the writers of Frontiers missed Shadow and wanted to do something with him. but they couldn't find a way to put him in the game without completely changing its story. So
Right.
this is them being like, okay, here's a Frontiers attitude Shadow, and I hope I'm right. Because he could benefit from that tone so much.
Yeah, because like I know it's the Sonic, it's like Sonic fan thing to say, where it's just like, where's Shadow? But it's like it's the thing where I start to notice this more, where for as much as we wish for like a lot of the characters it's like to come back, it's like, well, it's like say that for after like James, it's like gives his opinions. It's like actually, it's like I'll just say that for it's like after James says what he wants to.
Man, we just went right into the thick of it, didn't we?
Yeah. So I think we already knew what we're gonna. It's because there's only so much you can say right now without like addressing it's like it, because we don't know much about the game outside of the fact that base generations is just largely going to be generations. But what about the Shadow portion?
I'm excited for Generations remaster. Did we need it? No. But since we're getting it, I am excited for it because having just ran through the PC port and seeing how buggy it was, I'll be happy to have a copy that I'll probably end up playing on my Switch. Having portable Sonic Generations is going to be really nice. That said, I don't think they're going to change anything about Generations. I think there might be some quality of life stuff. They might make some mission structures easier so people can get just right into the game and get through it. That way they can get to the Shadow content. Or even if they just want to like just get through the game real quick. But with Shadow, I haven't been hyped. I was not hyped for a Sonic game this much, even more so than Frontiers. Probably since early Dark Era. Seeing Shadow come back was surprising because I was a lot more excited about seeing what Shadow is going to be capable of story-wise in this. I also think you're a bit right, Kalen. I think that they want because Ian's doing the writing. Ian wants to write Shadow. And I think Sega, I think the fact that Shadow is a character in Sonic 3 for the movie. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that Shadow is actually a character in Sonic 3, he's been in Sonic Prime, they're bringing him back for some side content in Generations. I think they've zeroed in on what they want Shadow to be and what fans like him to be, and this is their test run. What I want to see is if this goes over and everything, if the movie does well and if the game, the game sells well, I mean, which it's Generations remastered, that game was already the best boost game that we had. Combined with a returning character, it's going to sell well. I want to see them do a Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Not with the guns or anything. I don't think the guns will go over well. I don't think they'll ever touch guns again with Shadow.
A standalone, it's like a standalone Shadow-esque.
I think Shadow, if they do well with it, this might be pure copium too. This is just me talking. I think Shadow deserves his own story that is just as melancholic as they want it to be, without it being quote forced, because quote unquote forced because it's Sonic and Sonic's apparently supposed to not have feelings. They can actually do a dramatic story with Shadow because of his backstory. Also, yes. I want to put on the record that only in the Sonic fandom can we have people say that they're going to be actively pissed if a child does not get shot in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Right.
And
to put it crassly, but yes, it's like I think it's like no. It's like obviously it's like there are people who are just being really fucking dumb about it. But I think the best way to articulate it is it's like it can very much just be that. But I think it's like way to articulate it in a rational manner. It's like not having that pivotal point of that character being lost to Shadow and turning him into what made him into it's like SA2. It's like will be it's like major letdown. Because like it would be an actual major letdown if they just never bothered mentioning it at all. That would be the actual problem.
Well, okay.
Maria dying is such an integral part to Shadow's story.
Right.
And the way that she dies is such an integral part to how Shadow views the world throughout Adventure 2 and throughout his entire like canon story. If they drop the ball on this and they don't do this the way it should, it's going to ruin everything that I just said.
Yeah.
Like it's going to throw it off.
Well, it's safe to say that we are going to, and spoilers on the cast list, just, putting it out there.
Yeah.
It is safe to say we are definitely getting Maria in this movie.
Yes.
And again, like the casting choice is just a little too perfect for it not to just be Maria. Like let's all be real here.
Oh no, that is Maria straight up.
That and the fact that I think in Europe they like had recently shown off a rating that was going to be it's like they leak of the rating for the movie being PG-13. So that very much implies that it's like if it's not going to be it's like at the very least it's going to be censored, but we are going to see Maria get shot.
You gotta know. It's what James was saying. This is such a pivotal moment for that character. It's if you don't have Maria, you don't have Shadow.
Yeah, don't you just love? It's like don't you just love when adapting it's like new media for children does not ignore an integral part of a fucking character?
Shouldn't.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that. Netflix after The Last Airbender. Oh, sorry, where did that come from?
Yeah, no, Netflix is going to learn a lesson real hard of why you don't fuck with the character's entire motivations. Because I guarantee you, Last Airbender is going to bomb hard.
It's like you see, it's like to just veer away from it's like veer away from it's like Sonic for a split second. It's like the fact that it's like you heard the rumors of like the original writers walked off of the project.
It was like the first month. It was like the first month they were in production. They said we're done.
Like they walked off. It's like they walked off because of creative differences, and like in just the span of like a couple days, I sat there and just went like, I completely understand why.
I had a feeling it was largely the same thing as the way I viewed Prime. Like typically if I have a bad feeling about a show, I don't want to make it sound like I just immediately assume the show's going to be bad, but I had a bad feeling about Prime. I was like, this isn't going to be as great as what we think it's going to be or what we want it to be. And Prime I gave it its fair shake, and I haven't even started the third season just because
I have not either.
Was so largely uninterested in anything that happened, and Sonic just was annoying.
Not to mention, I really don't think there was, and let me be clear, I don't hate Prime, I just also don't like it, because like there are parts of Prime I think are genuinely decent. Like I really like Shadow's characterization. To say it before James does, what little we get of it.
Yeah, all three scenes.
Yeah, but again, what we have is good, and I think that deserves props for it. But in terms of like the show itself, you could definitely smell blood in the water, just because like, not to mention, I don't think they had a clear image of it, because this is apparently supposed to take place after Sonic Advance 3.
No.
And what are Orbot and Cubot doing there? Like,
what a weird time period to set your show in.
It's very specific.
It's very specific, just straight up doesn't make any sense. And it's just a matter of what, okay, because I say, it's because we're getting off topic. It's like before it's like go back to, it's like Shadow and Sonic Generations.
Right.
I was going to like say that regarding the whole, when does this show take place? My immediate question is, why the fuck does anyone care? It's like what? It's like part of this show takes place. Like I have never had to question when a Sonic show takes place, because apparently it's like, well, everything is canon, and I'm like, okay, you can take that either very literally or very loosely. because what? That's just the thing. Why does anyone care that this show is canon or not?
Well, it erased
Because
itself
very
out of the
clearly
timeline
isn't.
anyway, so it
It
doesn't matter.
06'd itself.
Like, yes.
Mhm.
But even then, I just assumed, oh, they're just, it's like having like another thing. I'm like, this doesn't even have to be another, it's like fucking, it's like timeline thing. It's just simple, goofy little, it's like show with like Sonic and his friends just going to different dimensions. That's like, I never thought anything about it.
Well, see, why do they have to stick a story to it? Because if they wanted a goofy little show that was literally just like a small story, it could have just as easily been like Boom.
Well, can I
Well,
throw
yeah,
someone
no,
out there?
but again, like that's just my point. It's like it's like it's a kid show that's going to have like an overarching story, but it's like just because it has an overarching story doesn't mean it needs to be connected to the main like series itself.
Yeah,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
my whole thing is that show has a lot of. I'm just gonna jump right to it. I think it's a missed opportunity for Sage because we are currently at a point where that is such an integral character that we have only had one source of media for. And this is Eggman's daughter now. Like, obviously not biologically, but she is his daughter. And I feel like Prime, if it was just set after Frontiers, could have genuinely given her another medium. And I think people would have really softened to the show simply because of that. But that said, that's a very, like, that could go so wrong. Maybe it's for the best that Sage didn't appear at all.
Yeah.
Because with how they fumbled Sonic's characterization, that could have been.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just Sage's tone just does not fit with the tone of that show.
No.
But anyway, back to Sonic Generations.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
Sonic and Shadow.
What do you guys think about Doom coming back?
Honestly, I find it cool.
Oh, I am.
It is genuinely the thing where I'm like it. Like the more that I notice it, especially again because we're in a post-Frontiers era. Say that hypothetically they wanted to go the way of just not making Eggman the main bad guy for like the next big, it's like 3D Sonic game. Because it's I'm just saying this right now. It's like to anyone out there thinking that this is the current big 3D Sonic game, it's like that they're it's like working on right now. You're dumb. This is essentially their Mario 3D World Bowser's it's like Bowser's Fury. I almost said Bowser's Inside Fury. But no.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna see a big Sonic game like the big game. We're not gonna see that for. I'm gonna say
At
another.
least 2 years.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go as far as saying at least another 4. With Sega focusing so hard now on quality, I think we're gonna get a bunch of side games, and some more media. Well,
Yeah.
it's because Sonic's become more of a media franchise now versus what it was, which was like, oh, let's put out a video game every year. Now they have other avenues to release Sonic content without overburdening their developers. And I think a big part of that is going to be, I think we're going to get another Sonic TV show that's going to be better than Prime at some point.
I think they're probably going to go the whole mini series route of like the whole, because they just released a whole Sonic and Friends thing that they're probably going to like go somewhere with. So.
I doubt that's going to be anything. I think that's going to be more of a I think that's going to it's going to be more marketing and a TikTok thing to do engagement, because a lot of the Sonic and Friends stuff I see is YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
I don't think Sonic and Friends is anything bigger than what it is right now. If anything, it's going to be like stuffed animals and shit. Maybe children's toys when it gets down to it.
Oh, it's like just looking at its art style, it's definitely geared more towards it's like children's toys. I see a bunch of them in like GameStop and Target. It's definitely going for that vibe.
Yeah.
But
Hey, what up, Narcy?
Oh, man, I totally lost my train of thought actually.
Sorry.
Well, I know what I was gonna say before that, which is I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit here, but it's been years and years. I think we deserve Super Shadow.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Super Shadow and Shadow Generations.
You're betting?
I bet my entire paycheck on it right now. We're gonna get Super Shadow.
I want that confidence.
Yes.
I see the bag getting fumbled.
Here's the thing. You're collecting the Chaos Emeralds in time, space, and generations.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that Shadow is going to be the flip side of that coin. So everything that Shadow's doing is going to be happening at the same time Sonic is doing it, and the Chaos Emeralds are going to be.
Confirmed that.
Yeah, they're going to be within the same, like. It's basically there's going to be two sides to the coin. I'm assuming this is how I'm reading what's going to happen.
Okay.
So Shadow's going to have access to the Chaos Emeralds like Sonic is. Because the Chaos Emeralds don't exist in Sonic's possession. For like when he goes to fight the Time Eater.
Right.
Like they're within the space, like they're within the space that they're inhabiting for that duration of the game. So if everything Shadow's doing is happening at the same time Sonic's doing, and Shadow's in the same like slip space, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna have access to those Chaos Emeralds. Or I could be wrong, and he could just have a reason to grab the Chaos Emeralds throughout his own side of the story. I think that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get a Super Shadow.
Yeah, because I was
need to
gonna say
vote
it's like for the. Because I think that's the major part that it's like people will probably have that they don't fix with like generations, like not regarding gameplay, is just the bland story. Because in order for it's like clearly Shadow's version of Generations is going to be more story based, like they're pretty much outright involving it's going to have a full on story. Well, it's going to be really awkward having that run alongside Generation's normal story, because how it just works is just not it's just very lackadaisical. So it's like, how do you get a very story driven part of this to work with one that just to work with a part of the game that just does not have a story, period?
That's kind of going back to what I was talking about before, where like it's a bizarre decision tying what looks like a very like impactful story, or at least what I'm hoping is an impactful story, to Generations. Like these are two vastly different tones that we're already getting.
I think a lot of where that's coming from is Generations is largely about, it's not so much about the story as it is about hey, here's a reason to go back through Sonic's past.
Yeah.
And I think with this coming up, it's going to be a lot of, hey, here's a reason for us to go back into Shadow's past.
Yeah.
In time for Sonic 3.
Yeah, in time for Sonic 3. I don't think it's not 100% airtight of a reason, but I think that's the best reason that they had. Because you could have said, oh, Unleashed. What was Shadow going to do in Unleashed? They don't... I don't think they have enough content to do an entire Shadow game. And if they were to do enough content for an entire Shadow game, that would be their next game. They would want to go full balls to the wall, 100%. We need to make this look good. Like, we need this game to be good. I think this is going to be a digestible side story that is going to give us enough lore to really get us ready for the movie, and potentially more Shadow in the future.
It's also, I also see this as a means to, more familiarize newer fans with the Shadow of the past, because I could definitely tell, I could definitely tell with this and the steps that they've been taking with the IDW comics, that they are starting to, hear the voices of just this. We are kind of tired of seeing Shadow, for lack of a better term, being Vegeta-ized. Yes. And just he's more than just Sonic's douchebag, dark, edgy rival who just wants to do a proverbial dick measuring contest with him. Like, no, Shadow's an actual, it's a character. So
yes. He's a dark hero.
I'm gonna say it. I still very much want a Shadow story where he takes somebody under his wing, and that has a similar backstory to him, and allows Shadow to like. Yes.
No.
Wait, who? Surge is 100% the person that Shadow could be like, hey, listen, I know shit is really shitty right now, but there is a reason. There is a reason that you can move on. There's always a reason.
If not Surge, I'm actually gonna say this: Silver. Like,
Silver's a buttercup. I don't. He has
it's
a.
like, well, no, it's like, well, no, it's like, it's the thing of just like, it's because of what. This is the best way I can say it. It's like, it's because of what Silver it's like has to deal with in his it's like future of just like a destroyed timeline that he is such the cinnamon roll that he is. Like, does that make sense? Because it's just like it. You have that it's like part in Sonic 06 where Shadow can very clearly tell that Silver is extremely naive, headstrong, trying to just do it's like what he thinks is right. But it's like Shadow can very clearly see that no, who's ever leading you on right now is not trying to it's like actually it's like help you and is trying to lead you astray. So
okay.
like,
Well, no, sorry. I was just gonna say that like at first I didn't really see where you're coming from, but now that you mention it, I do at least see your point of like in that moment Shadow was very he was very cut through the crap mode of like here's this naive person who's just trying their best but at the same time needs to wake up and understand what's going on. But yeah, sorry, not to throw off the
oh no, you're fine. It's like no, you're fine. What I was gonna it's like just go off into is just like making it's like having Silver and Shadow be that it's like type of protege. It's like type of like protege thing where like it's like Shadow can see it's like the dark shit that Silver has to deal with on it's like on a regular. So maybe it's like just it's like doing something a little bit more than them. It also, you know, still keeps that whole theme of just, you know, it's like we got it's like our whole thing going on of, you know, like Shadow's past, present, future, anybody. But no, it's just like I genuinely just it's like need to see more. I just want to see more of Shadow and Silver interacting.
Well, theoretically, it's always worth pointing out that Shadow is technically alive in Silver's time. It's just that he's been
I hate that though. I hate it, not in the bad way. I just hate it because it's like this dude just is perpetually alive. Like
I think
as far as I'm
loses
concerned,
everyone.
I think
As far as
that's
I'm
his
concerned,
curse.
that's
It's like, yeah, I think that's his curse. It's just like Shadow is just perpetually doomed to just see everyone fucking die.
my headcanon is he gets saved because no, I can't stand that. Like he deserves so much better than that.
Yep.
Which yeah, that's why like again, if we're talking headcanon, like what would I have happen? Have Silver have a moment with Silver and Shadow, kind of like what they did in the issue where like the city was imploding, where Silver starts to genuinely respect Shadow, and then start to wonder like, huh, if he's supposed to be this like forever lasting character, then where is he? And that could even be a whole story of Silver trying to track down Shadow and work around Gun, because I'm pretty sure it's implied that Gun is the one that captured them because they deployed Omega.
Right.
Which is a whole other question because he's working for you, but whatever.
Don't worry about it.
It's implied that like this was kind of touched on in not to mix media sources, but in Dark Knight Rises or not whatever one was the one that got the comic adaptation.
Sonic Chronicles.
Well, it's the Batman story of like
Injustice.
No, it's it shows them like 50 years in the future as like elderly.
Oh, okay.
And the president is like, "Hey, I understand that Batman retired, but he just came out of retirement and this isn't the same world it used to be, so he
So
sends Superman after him."
Yep.
Yeah. And that to me has the same vibe where like Shadow is only getting progressively more powerful. And then at that point, Gun is like, okay, Omega, we may need your help taking him in.
We need to contain him.
This really went off the rails from a Shadow Generations question. What was the question?
Yeah, it's like originally the question was, what do we feel about Black Doom coming back? Which it's like that was originally going to be the thing where I said, like if they wanted to go the route of just not making Eggman it's like the major bad guy, like for the next game, I'm okay with this because I'm starting to notice that like Sonic, like just as a series, does not have a lot of staying villains. Like not, it's like not just like straight like monsters of like huge energy. I'm talking about like Sonic just does not have regular super villains, like people who just kind of it's like share like the same drive, the same motivation as Eggman, but just their own different spins on it. Like, does that make sense?
No, that makes
To be
sense
fa-
because
like yeah, like to be fair, it's like you kind of say it's like Black Doom is almost as about as like generic, but I just need like more Sonic villains. Like say what you will about like Starline, but I'm more intrigued about the idea that Sonic just has more regular villains to deal with. You know, like he needs more people. I don't give a shit about the Deadly Six.
can I just this is kind of a sidetrack, kind of not. I do not care about Clutch. I really don't. Do you two know who I'm talking about?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the fucking
I almost
awesome-
forgot, but
Yeah.
Mhm. They're painting him up as like, oh, he's gonna be a big deal, and it's like, I don't have a reason to care.
He's just currently right now just a shady businessman.
He seems like the kingpin of the Sonic world.
Yeah,
he's an arms dealer. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Like that whole trope of people. Like he is an arms dealer. Like he doesn't care who wins, but most of the time it's the shady people that he wants to succeed because he's able to further his business because he's a
Profit,
shady
right.
businessman.
Right.
Other than that, he is not interesting to me. Starline, I thought Starline gives me Frieza vibes. Where every time he's around, I get nervous. For some reason.
You're fucking ADHD, man.
I don't hear that.
Sorry, what happened?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
I got a text.
Oh, word.
It's like while he's taking that, it's
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. You
yeah,
guys keep going. I'll be right back.
yeah. I was
Alright,
gonna
cool.
think more so of like it's like you can't really do it's like much of anything with like the Deadly Six, especially because it's like they've been sent back to the Lost Hex and
They're
because
boring.
fuck-
I don't
yeah,
want
and because
anything
fuck
to
the
do.
Deadly Six.
They're not interesting. They're meant to be one-dimensional.
It's like yeah, but outside of that, it's like it's like I need more it's a character like kind of it's like do what like the Archie comics does. Even then, it's like just have like more underlings. It's like underneath. It's like Eggman that like are perpetual. It's like problems for him. Like honestly, bring Infinite back.
Wait, get out of my head!
Like like
For
there's
2
more.
seconds.
Like honestly, there's more to do with Infinite than I can say for the Deadly Six.
The second I thought, they could bring Infinite, I heard you saying it. Like, Infinite to me is someone that you can salvage. You just really need to know what you're doing.
Like just rein into exactly like just rein in like part of. Okay, it's like the first thing you need to do with Infinite. Explain how the fucking Phantom Ruby works. You fix that, and there it's just like with his character, you just need to build like more of just retool. It's like his motivations, like more like or something, and then just it's like don't it's like beyond there. Granted, I can't it's like think of anything where it's like if they wanted to say, oh well, he's trying to get it's like back at Sonic and it's like Eggman specifically for fucking ditching him, and Sonic just because it's like whatever. I'm mostly just gonna sit here and just going like, well, you could probably just say that as like as a mishmash of what Starline and Surge are kind of doing right now.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I don't know how to phrase it other than just give me more Sonic villains.
You know what would go crazy?
Hmm.
Infinite versus Starline. Poor Starline is screwed. Let's be clear.
It's like mixing the Phantom Ruby with the Warp Topaz. Actually,
Warp
no, we can't
Topaz
do it with the
versus-
Warp Topaz. It's like actually no, we can't do with the Warp Topaz because we fucking we put it back where it came from.
Mm-hmm. I just mean like it could have been a cool moment where like this would have been back when like Starline was like full head on like I am going to be with Eggman,
Yeah.
where Infinite is very dismissive and almost disrespectful to Eggman, and then Starline is like, "Hey, whoa, this is my idol. You show him respect." to which I don't see Infinite caring. And like that could have been a cool mini fight of like Infinite doing something.
My thing
But-
with Infinite is he's so far out of left field, with such a heavy chip on his shoulder for no reason. Just
You want to know how laughably bad Force's writing is? All of his friends got killed, and he's more mad he lost a fight.
yeah.
What a joke.
Just absolute fucking dweeb.
Oh, it's hilarious. Like, imagine literally you're part of a mercenary squad that you're likely very attached to. And I understand that, like, sure, we don't have any solid anything saying that Infinite was attached to these people. But it's safe to assume there was something there. And as a writer, there should have been something there. But again, nope, he lost a fight. That's what he's more upset about. He could have been evil Bardock. He could have been like, you killed everyone I know and now I'm coming after you. But no, and it makes more sense that he'd be a Shadow villain than a Sonic villain.
That's
Yeah.
kind of where I was gonna go with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. He has more of a chip on his shoulder. It's like in anger towards Shadow than he does Sonic.
It doesn't. He's such wasted opportunity. He's
I
such
mean,
wasted potential.
I mean, okay. Explain this to me.
Okay.
What makes you think that Infinite is any good?
I'm not saying that
Is
it's
that
Like,
well for one. Go
like,
ahead.
okay, so let me put it in the context, and this is not I'm not patronizing either.
Right.
In my head, Infinite is probably as generic as you can get for an edgy villain. He's just there to be evil, and that's that. He is essentially the Kylo Ren to Shadow the Hedgehog.
that hurt because that was so that's so accurate.
Okay, but do you see what I'm saying though? Is because
No, I see what you're
Infinite
saying.
is this all like super edgy. Oh, everything in my life is awful, so I need to take it out on everybody else. He's Shadow, but he's what they wanted. He's what they were trying to get. It was almost like a rehash of Shadow, but way worse. And to me, that is Darth Vader's Kylo Ren to Shadow's Infinite.
All right.
If-
Well, I was
So-
gonna say it's like go
What
ahead. Go ahead.
makes him so my question is genuinely my question, by the way. What is redeemable about Infinite? Like, what makes you think that Infinite would be a good villain if he was handled correctly?
Oh my word! Please let me take this.
Go ahead, Kalen.
Because okay, so my favorite form of writing in terms of like fan stuff is that question: is how
Yeah.
would I make this uninteresting character interesting? To me, first off, have him go insane. Have Infinite lose his mind. He literally lost one fight and went crazy. He just lost an entire army. I want to see him snap. Like, I want a viscerally insane Sonic villain with insane power. That said, what I would do, and I understand this is more of like a what if as opposed to like, what could you redeem? But to me, nerf him. You need to nerf Infinite because
Yeah.
as he is right now, he shouldn't have lost. He literally pulled like a fake sun out of orbit, which is hilarious to me because if it were remotely like an actual sun, everyone died immediately.
Really? Everyone died immediately the moment the moment it even touches so much as fucking 100,000 miles of the fucking atmosphere.
You're gone. You're gone.
Right.
So like to me, first off, superficially, I think his design is sick. I think it works. I think it's cool.
Yes.
I think in terms of I really like his voice. I really like his demeanor, but again, I just want to see him pushed because this is a character that has actually experienced loss now in more ways than one. He fought Sonic, he lost, he has Vendetta. He lost Jackal Squad. He should have had a Vendetta. But like now it'd be weird to kind of reintroduce out of nowhere because imagine you had that whole game where he didn't feel anything and then all of a sudden in the next game he shows up, he's like, "You killed everyone I know." And it's like, you weren't mad before.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's like really quick, it's like to
Yeah.
piggyback off your what you're saying, the Kalen is kind of like the point I was going to make,
Mm.
where it's like that's the inherent thing where I
Did I lose you?
I can't hear him anymore.
Oh yeah, no, he drifted off. I think he might have gotten disconnected. Let me look.
Nice. Still in call.
Yeah, he might dip out.
All right. Well, if I can just throw one more thing out there,
Go for it.
Infinite could work.
Infinite you of that shit.
Oh my God.
Right. It's like, what?
Oh my
What
word.
We lost you for like a good 30 seconds, homie.
Wait, what happened? What did you hear
Bro.
last?
Uh,
Fuck.
I can't. It was literally, hey, real quick, just to piggyback off what you were saying, and then it muted.
Oh my god. Hold on.
oh.
Guys, we good?
Yep.
Should be.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was gonna piggyback off of was just bringing up the point of Embony's Sonic Forces video of like making Sonic Forces better. It's the kind of thing where I see Infinite as like the dark, edgy OC that he's it's like that he's very clearly intended it's like to be, where like like his music, his design, like his motivation, it's less of a parody of that it's like stuff and more of an exploitation. Like he's basically to put it, it's like he's basically a canonized Cold Steel the Hedgehog. Like he's it's like, yeah, he's intentionally designed to be in your it's like face about that, but like that's the exact type of reason why you love that kind of dumb shit. So I'm thinking it's like, yeah, to go it's like with Kalen's point, I need him to be that extreme, overly it's like edgelord it's like type of shit that we basically it's like all made it's like fun of Shadow for. And like with the retooling of how it's like he's supposed to be written, I genuinely think, yeah, he could work more as a Shadow villain, because who the fuck else would it's like what better character to mesh with it's like Shadow's like more dark and brooding it's like thing than to have the absolute fucking edgelord character be essentially a canonized version of Alucard.
Look, we're gonna domino effect here, because to add on to that, there's one more thing I want to say.
Keep going.
And that is, Infinite could have been an insane psychological villain. Infinite can conjure anything he can think of. So let's say he finally gets the power of the Phantom Ruby, and then he summons a copy of Maria to mess with Shadow.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Like,
I will give you that one.
You can write this character in a cool way. And to me, you could even play it into one of Sonic's strengths, which is something you could kind of dunk on Sonic Prime for, which is like, have it where Infinite is messing with all these characters, and for whatever reason, Sonic can't like show up to stop him. And by the time he shows up, everyone's been beaten. Everyone has faced their demons and lost to it. So then Sonic shows up, and Infinite tries messing with him. But Sonic is a static character. Sonic knows who he is. And I like the idea that no matter what Infinite tries, he can't break Sonic.
Yep.
That could be such a cool moment.
Right. It's like it can allow you to go further into honestly, it's like the Archie comics almost did this. It's like with their it's like Unleashed, it's like arc. And Unleashed itself kind of touched on this where Chip it's like mentions that part of it's like I haven't done anything. Like Sonic, you're the reason that you're still who you are. You're too strong to lose yourself. So it's like I would love to see.
Too.
Yeah, it's like it's the reason where that's always something. It's like so cool. It's like just seeing Sonic it's like succumb to these like types of things, and yet he's still the person. It's like he is because mentally he's too strong to know who he is.
Infinite could be a lot more than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And on the flip side of that coin, Kalen, I think Infinite could potentially have a different form of that force of nature that we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Sonic is a very physical force of nature. Like Eggman can't overcome Sonic because Sonic is just he's fast, he's strong, he's capable of doing everything that Eggman can't. He just can't overcome him.
Mm-hmm.
Having a similar force but only psychological combat Sonic could hit some plot threads that normally don't happen with Sonic. Like say for instance, okay, Sonic does know who he is. But what happens if Infinite fucks with that to the point where he basically screws around and goes, okay, let's turn everything that you love the exact opposite of what it should be. Like your friends, your world, everything that you fought hard to protect. Let's screw with your head and make it seem like you've lost it all.
Your friends turn against. It's like your friends turn
Yeah.
against you. Like you're not the fastest. It's like Infinite trying to break Sonic down out of the fundamental things that make him him.
Having Sonic's morality challenged would be a very, very interesting concept to explore for me.
I think it'd be funny if he brought up Black Knight and was like, you've doomed the world before, and yet you claim moral superiority. To which I don't see that super affecting Sonic, because Sonic was very steadfast in that.
Well, see, Sonic doesn't even claim moral superiority there. He just says, I do what I want. It's like he's not claiming that his way is the right way. He's just claiming that I do what I want. This is what I believe is right, so this is what I do.
Yeah, Sonic is very much the thing. It's like he's not a hero of justice. He's just a hero for freedom. Like he is very much. It's like force of nature. Like he moves however he wants. Give me a second, James. Bluntly, Sonic pretty much is an embodiment of chaos. Like he is. It's like he is a creature that will do anything that it wants, and nothing will stop him.
Well, it's what he tells Surge.
Right.
Surge is like, how, like, you think you're right, and he's like, no, I don't think I'm right. I think that everyone should have their freedom. If you want to throw yourself down a hole, like, I guess go ahead and do it. I'm going to try to stop you, but I think you should have the freedom of your choice. Go do your thing, but I'm going to do what I want to do, just like I'm giving you the option to do what you want to do.
It's just when he steps in there. So like, if what you want to do is to just basically hurt others, then that leaves me free to kick your ass.
Yeah. So like he gives everyone a choice. That's why Eggman's allowed to keep running rampant, because Sonic just lets Eggman run amok, but Sonic goes, well, I don't want this to happen. Like me personally, I don't want this to happen. I've got people I care about that don't want this to happen. I'm going to stop it. I think the only time that that's ever been different for Sonic is when he saw that Eggman could have been something different. And so he kept trying to he kept trying to appeal to Eggman's humanity, which obviously was lost.
Which reminds me too, if we never get Sage and Bell interacting, what a missed opportunity.
Oh my God.
That could be heartbreaking.
I think seeing Sage be something that Bell wanted with Mr. Tinker with Eggman is going to screw with Bell in a really big way.
100%, because it's what you're saying. Like Bell, all she wanted was Mr. Tinker back. She wanted her father back. So to see someone else now getting, in a way, what she, like, all she ever wanted, that'd break anyone. Because like it's also kind of conflicting, because at that point, if Mr. Tinker ever does come back, what happens to Sage? Does she lose her dad now? And like this is the kind of thing where like Sonic lore can be so interesting when it's done right, but man, very rarely is it done. Except now it's getting more frequent, which is really good.
Yeah, I think the more people see Ian write, the more they want him to write. And the more Sega sees that, the more included they put the more included they make Ian in big Sega decisions.
Yeah. There is always the core Ian hating club, which I will never understand. But
it's the vocal minority.
Yep.
Yes.
All the people like here's the thing. Here's the thing about Sega. Sega does what makes them money. Now,
a business doing whatever they do to make money. That's crazy.
Yes. Anyway. Sega does what Sega does to make money. It doesn't matter, which is why we got shit Sonic games for 15 years, is because people just kept buying them, but nobody was really like, they had bad writers and they just kept making money off of them, because Sonic fans will do one thing and one thing only, always buy the fucking game.
That has Sonic's name.
Buy
It's like
anything that
literally-
has Sonic's name on it.
Yep.
So they hit a stride where they saw that, oh, hey, we just made so much more money than normal, and everybody seemed to like what we gave them. So they gave us more, and they went harder back into it. What we're seeing is we're seeing a very big renaissance of Sonic, and I'm very much thinking the Dreamcast era is to thank for that, because we had, like, call it the dark era or not, that was the best characterization we've had of Sonic ever.
Yes.
It was a really good natural evolution to classic Sonic, while at the same time making things like Sonic is about cool things happening. Like, turning him into a Saturday morning cartoon was the worst mistake that they've ever done.
Yes, it completely shows a mischaracterization. Like, you don't get the character at that point.
It's the thing where it's just like, say for instance, like you're, because Sonic is very clearly shown in, it's like inspired. It's like basically he is the, how do I word this? He is basically a Mickey-fied Goku, if you can put it that way. So when I'm sitting here, it's like looking through like the world of Sonic, a lot of the things where I'm just like, yeah, it's like those type of things would just fit into the very, it's like surreal but very steadfast, cool, it's like world of Sonic, where it's like, yeah, it's like giant looping, it's like, yeah, stuff like giant looping green, it's like hills or anything. Like, it does, it's like so much more to categorize its world as this type of adventure-esque, it's like world where giant monsters, it's like lay around of like just powerful beings or shit, or like ancient civilizations just having this type of stuff. Like, Sonic does more with it's like to categorize its world where Mario doesn't, to make it feel more three-dimensional and more elaborate, which is what it's like fell through. It's like with a lot of the 2010s games where it's like, oh, here's this giant interstellar amusement park. Oh, we're just going to this random, it's like white space that is filled with Sonic's past. Oh, here's this random fucking lost hex place that just floats in the middle of nowhere. Oh, Eggman took over the world. It's like, oh, Eggman just casually took over the world in less than a fucking month, and Shadow was, it's like in less than a fucking year, and Shadow was nowhere to be found. Like, like all of that stuff just did not happen because it just treated Sonic's world as if it was just this second fiddle thing, when arguably, like, when you look at a lot of the early, it's like stuff, it's like with the games, like even the classics, it's like it was never so much about the character, because the actual thing that you're doing is the actual character of the game. Like, does that make sense? Like, the setting of Angel Island is the actual main thing going on. You just happen to be the vessel where you get to explore it all.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like in more, it's just like, yeah, like Central City, it's like fucking Station Square and like the Mystic Ruins. Like I feel like in this scenario, I can kind of compare it to One Piece in terms of just like specific like world building, because it's like, it's not so much the character. Like, obviously it's like the character, it's like matters a lot, but the place that I'm going, it's like, what is here? What are the it's like environments like? How does this place operate? Is the thing that it's like you always need to nail in terms of like the setting for a Sonic game. Because if you don't care about like the setting of the game, well, I'm not going to care about what happens to this place or why we're here. Like, if Sonic doesn't acknowledge what the fuck is it's like going on here, then why should I care at all what's happening here?
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Wait a minute. What was the next question about Shadow Generation?
Oh.
I think that was just it.
I think,
we were just saying
yeah,
it's like Black Doom, and that was about it.
yeah, we're inching more towards 9:30. So I guess
Closing
I guess closing thoughts on it would be I'm excited to see what locations are going to be in Shadow. I don't think there's a lot to Shadow's history, so I think, like, I mean, obviously narratively there's a shit ton of it, but I think as far as like what we've seen or what we've been allowed to see by Sega, I think I definitely think, you know, we've got the Ark, we've got Westopolis. We're probably going to see some stuff from 06. I definitely think our bosses are going to be the BioLizard, Mephiles, and Infinite. Those are the big people that are that were in Shadow's story. Outside of obviously Black Doom, but
yeah. Well, that's just another thing. It's just like they can do what I'm genuinely shocked Sonic Forces didn't. And just, it's like, we don't even have to, it's like, necessarily go to places. It's like, maybe it's like Shadow's, it's like, maybe, like, going through Shadow's past will, like, entail just going through, like, warped versions of, like, different, it's like, places that it's like he's been, or something like that. I don't know. But it's like, if you wanted to just, like, add more variety, it's like, again, you don't have to just necessarily do all of the things that like, where Shadow played, like, a big role.
Yeah. Yeah. If we're just going on like closing statements, I genuinely think this game is going to be one of my favorites of all time now, because Generations was already my second favorite Sonic game, and you just tied my favorite fictional character to it as like a main, you know, like they get their own story now. So day one cop, easy. This is going to be peak fiction.
Yes.
side note, I am having a terrible time to try and draw a Shadow.
I was about to say, I was like, reset.
Like, I was noticing the stream, it's like, brother, are you good?
I can't get him to look the way I want him to. Oh, there we go. We might got something now. We might got something now towards the end of this stream.
We're cooking.
Or towards the end of at least this section of the stream, anyway.
We're cooking. We're eating.
Cooking.
I just could not get him to look good, like no matter what I did. I just
sampling, delecting.
Let's see.
I think I'm learning something.
He's adapting, chat.
I think I just need to. I think I need to draw a Shadow more.
Yes.
Oh no, that's not the line I wanted to make.
I still really want a vocal theme.
Yep.
I will be surprised if they forego the vocal themes from now on, because the vocal themes were the big,
what everyone talked about.
yeah, they're basically were the highlight of Frontiers. Also, May Blackham, thank you for being a sub.
Also,
and thank you very much.
On the topic of vocal themes, it's like, if it will probably not happen, but a Kellen Quinn redux of I Am All of Me.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
That will be so fucking hype.
That'll be on every playlist I have. That'll be in the gospel playlist. That'll be in the
right. I will have just my mellow playlist, and I'm just gonna hear, "Can you sing on me? Walk into." I'm like, all right, yes, thank you. This is singing to the actual God.
Oh, the Kellen screaming is just. Oh man. Anyway, yeah,
that would be wild. I don't even know how to react to that. It's that wild.
I'm between that and Live and Learn. Either way, I don't even care. Do any Shadow song, like, at all, and have Kellen do it, and I'll be losing.
Never turn back.
I think even if hey, I just got that notification for the sub. Thank you for the sub. I think even if Kellen did an original for Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't think we'll get that much. Like, let me be clear. I think this is a side.
Right.
I think this is a side game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get some lore, but I don't think it's going to be this world changing thing. So seeing Shadow come back will be great, but I very much think this is we're gonna test the waters and see if we've got Shadow's characterization right. That way,
Oh man, if they don't.
if they don't, we don't expect to see Shadow for a good long time again, if ever. Honestly,
Motherfucker.
I hate to be that. I hate to be the naysayer, but if this flops, we won't see Shadow outside of a side character role for a good long time, if ever again.
Can
I'd
I-
be so mad if that happens.
Can I throw something out there?
Oh, okay.
Very. This is take moment. This is take time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because this is me. All right, I'm just gonna say it. I genuinely think with the right voice direction, Kirk Thornton could be not that bad.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's just they just need to, like he just needs to talk just a little bit louder because he still talks too quiet.
There have been
You've got
shadow
this,
moments.
Sonic.
You've got this
That's
setting.
Sonic.
It's one of those things where like Kirk is so laughable in some of his voice direction, but I'm tempted to say it really is the direction, because with how vastly different the interpretations of Roger's Sonic have been with new voice direction, I think his Shadow could genuinely show emotion. I at least want to hear it.
Well, the problem is when's the last time you've heard Kirk Thornton say anything as Shadow?
Sonic Forces, and I honestly think it's terrible that I have to say that I honestly think that's his best performance.
Well, I'm thinking TSR. There were quite a few voice lines in TSR for Shadow.
The point is he has nowhere near as much screen time as Shadow as what Roger Craig Smith had as Sonic.
I mean, this is true.
So it's either you're gonna need somebody that already knows how to do Shadow without having done Shadow before, or God damn it, or you're gonna need to give Shadow more screen time. That way, Kirk has the ability to really zero in his role. Because if Roger Craig Smith's anything to go on, I was not a fan of his work up until Frontiers. I think Roger nailed Sonic for Frontiers, or at least he's on a very good path to having Sonic down. And I don't think he's a bad voice actor by any means. He plays Mirage in Apex, and there are some
Batman
parts.
and Arkham.
And there is some parts in Apex where I genuinely was sad because of Mirage's story. And so, that said, it's very much up to Sega to include Shadow and more stuff. That way we can get the voice acting Shadow deserves, whether or not it's Kirk Thornton or not. Does sound like I wasn't trailing off or anything?
No,
No,
yeah,
you're
you're
fine.
fine.
But unfortunately, we have hit the 9:30 mark, so that is the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. No, kidding.
No. We'll just we can move on topics or whatnot. But yeah, no, I wanted to set aside an hour where we could get that talked about, and maybe people might be interested in listening to what we've got to say. I still am not entirely sold on Shadow's head. I mean, I feel like it looks good, but at the same time, it's like,
You know what I want?
what?
This is totally random, but this is one of those moments where, like, the night before, because it got leaked hard that we were going to get Sonic and Shadow Generations.
Mhm.
The night before the announcement, I stayed up with my friend Austin because I was over at his place while I was on that trip.
Mhm.
And we talked about what we wanted out of the game. And half the stuff we said, I was like, no, it's not going to happen because Sega's not that cool right now. And then we got Black Doom, and then we got Westopolis, and then we got Final Rush, and then we got BioLizard. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I genuinely think there's a lot that could happen. And, like, obviously not a lot in the sense of, like, this is going to be a side game. It's not going to be a very long experience, but a lot in the sense of like there's stuff that could be really, really impactful and really, really cool. It's so specific, but I want a boss fight against Omega.
Oh, that could be fun.
Specifically the first cutscene from Sonic Heroes where like Shadow gets out of the pod and you have to fight a rampaging Omega.
Yeah.
That
That could
would
be
be
sick.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I
That'd be
could say
cool.
that.
I genuinely do think if there is a riot, because my theory is he's going to be another section. So you know how you had like the Genesis section, the
Mhm.
Dreamcast section, and the modern section. I genuinely think he's going to get a section, maybe a little more, maybe like 4 or 5 as opposed to 3. But I genuinely think there's going to be a rival fight, and the rival fight is probably going to be Mephiles, in my opinion, because they have said a lot about Mephiles.
I think I think there's going to be more than one, and I think Infinite is definitely some that is probably going to be. But at the same time, that said, they really screwed the pooch on Infinite with forces.
Well,
So
my only
they could just as easily erase Infinite from the canon as much as they've shafted Shadow on any sort of role in Sonic.
I don't think we're gonna get Infinite solely because this is Generations, and Generations deals with the past. So like this is before Forces, which makes me think Infinite won't be there.
You know, you're actually right. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Could also just as easily as we could say it's like, oh, they're not doing this, and the next thing you know, oh, we're revealing that we're going to be adding new DLC from later Sonic games, and it's just like, well, we can't say shit here anymore, can we?
You know, you raise a good point, Kalen, but at the same time, Sonic Generations was about celebrating the past, and we are now another how many years after Generations into the future?
Well, I'm saying lore wise, it would give me pause because
No, I'm going somewhere with this.
okay.
What if it's not just Shadow we're getting for extra content? What if we're
No,
getting
that's what I'm saying.
What if we're getting extra levels in Generations that further the quote past of Sonic?
Which again, it's like is the point that I brought up where it's just like probably it's like that's the thing that they're probably not going to do much. It's like focusing on base Generations
Because you know,
because I'm like
because the game's coming out in August. It's going to be after Sonic's birthday. I think it's all a big tie-in. There's, like I said, pure cope, but there could very much be a big chance that they might add some levels to Generations.
right.
I hope
too.
That's
because that would make
that's what I
Generations much more desirable of a game to grab other than Shadow's content.
Yeah, but with it's like that on the table, if they were going to add it's like future it's like levels, and you know what, I'm just gonna throw in just it's like because it was originally planned, I'm just gonna throw in Secret Rings and Black Knight just because I want to.
Oh, that would be so cool to get Generations versions of those levels, because then I'd actually want to play them.
Yeah,
It's
now,
funny you
it's
say
like-
that because that was
Go ahead.
part of the survey originally.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I'm throwing those back in there, like in the mix. If you wanted to add in it's like levels, but it's like just specifically to focus on future games. If you wanted to add in levels from what were the mainline games? Lost World, Forces, and could you really add something from Frontiers? No. Yeah, honestly, it's like just like, and you know, what? Like and Sonic Mania. It's like Sonic Mania.
the boost version of 2-1.
Oh god. It's like Sonic Mania and Sonic Superstars. What levels would you add?
Ooh. Okay. Oh, Press Garden Zone Act 2.
Oh, 100%. I would love a
Yes.
modern version of Press Garden.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yes.
Oh no, Modern Studiopolis too.
Yes. Honestly, any of the new stages specifically from Sonic Mania.
To be honest, I think if Generations was gonna get anything from Mania, I think they would run with Studiopolis just because that's
That
the
is-
iconic one.
That is
Yeah.
the stage from Sonic Mania. everyone
Yeah.
thinks about.
that and I think I think Press Garden would probably be a close second, with
Yeah.
Mirage Saloon being a close third.
Third.
But as far as Superstars goes, you guys have fun with that one. I hated that game.
Yeah.
I thought every level
like-
in that game was boring as shit.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I was hesitating to throw it in there, but I'm like, why not? You know.
I think
Post-
maybe
so I thought
maybe
that.
what's the win stage?
Sky
Sky
Temple?
Sky Temple, maybe that one, but it's so close to Sky Sanctuary thematically. I think that would be hard.
I think
Go ahead.
I think the jungle stage is the one that they really wanted to stick out. That to me is what they would pick.
I mean, they definitely put the most work into it.
Yeah.
What else? What else has come out since Generations came out?
I'm gonna think of
Lost
something.
World.
I'm gonna think of something from Lost World. The most I can think about was the because I'm trying to go. It's just like Windy Hill. No, because we already have Green Hill. Desert Ruin. Not interesting enough. Tropical Coast. We already have Seaside Hill.
Desert Ruins where my playthrough of that game ended because I raged too
Yeah.
hard at it.
It's like Desert Ruin. No, it's like too generic looking. Tropical Coast. Bore me to death. It's like you could probably do like the grind railing. It's like section and try and add in. It's like more shit from Tropical Coast. That's about it. Skyrim. We already have Sky Sanctuary. Lava Mountain. We already have Crisis City. Okay, so skipping Lost World.
I
Yeah.
think if we get anything from Lost World, it'd be like a rival fight, like Zaz
Yeah.
or something. Zaz or Zavok.
Keep it. Just keep it. I don't want it. Icky. Icky. I don't want a Deadly Six boss fight. Don't give that to me.
It's like you could probably just do like the tiniest mission modes like that. That's it.
Look, if you
go
really
ahead.
want to go there, then like do an IDW character fight or something. Or like an IDW character mission. Because there are character missions.
I would
Let me fight Surge!
I would kill for a Surge fight.
Let
Surge
me
rival fight.
fight Surge!
Like an actual fight too, because okay, see where my thing is I really hope that if Frontiers is going to be the standard in which we view Sonic games for this era, I hope combat becomes more centric in Sonic. I did not realize how much I loved combat in Sonic the Hedgehog than what I would in Frontiers.
It's just
Beating the absolute snot out of the Titans as Supersonic was stupid fun for me. Like we've reached an era where Sonic is about speed, and that's what a lot of people want in their game, but we haven't really explored the concept of Sonic is fast in more than one area. Not only can he run from A to B fast,
but man, he can just plow through. It's like enemy. I want more than just Sonic just running through like a bunch of enemies. Like, no, I've seen in other media how it's just like how Sonic fights. Like the focus of like speed, it's like in how Sonic traverses through a level should also be how Sonic combats the things that are in said level.
yes, and I think we've
yeah.
hit that. I think we've touched that nerve to where like I really hope we get a more complex system. That I want a system that's easy to learn, hard to master. I want something like Devil May Cry. I think that done right, you can get some really flashy fights out of Sonic without it being too difficult that nobody could really do it. And I think I'm getting sidetracked. The fact that exists, I think would set up a really good fight with Surge. With somebody like I could see a Frontier sequel with Surge or Shadow as like a boss battle that you have to fight on an equal playing field.
Yep. Yeah, it's like cause my brain is already going through it already. It's just like it's like thing about it, because the thing about combat in Frontiers is that it felt very disconnected from the rest of the world around you, and having that certain flow of just me being able to run, it's like to just transition from just running in, it's like to something, and then just jumping, it's like into it, because it's like before the game even came out, I was already having like these ideas of just like, can you just imagine like Sonic just running up like a tower, traversing, it's like through like amazing athleticism, and then you just like fucking, it's like just jump off, just start like spin dashing off, like you can almost, it's like do it in the game already to itself, just fucking it's like high roll off, it's like into something, into a giant, it's like horde of enemies, and then just start beating the shit out of them. I'm like, that would be so fucking sick if I could just slam into like a group of enemies, hit them with like a blue tornado from like Sonic Heroes, and then just start, it's like, dude, I'm like, oh my god, that'd be so cool.
Oh, I just like I said, I'm trying to temper my expectations for this game.
Of course, but it's like now I'm already on like the idea of just, oh my god, especially it gives them the opportunity to bring back, it's like other things from like other Sonic games where I'm like, it's like give me the way that it works in Frontiers, but with the type of like leveling and more as a combat centric way that it was handled in Unleashed. Tweak both of those just a little bit, and honestly, I will be fine.
I'm a big proponent for exploring the current lore we already have. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's gone unanswered, but they keep just feeding us new stuff. And seeing Frontiers kind of handle like ancients and then connecting them back to like chaos, I want to see that get explored more, because like they just ignore that's the thing. Like it's like they never talk about it. They never talk about the fact that they look like chaos.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
In Frontiers, they never talk about it.
Well, yeah. Well, Eggman does in the memo.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. He's like, I've traced the DNA back, and it seems that they are related to the Chow.
Chow.
I mean,
the same as Chaos, the god of destruction.
Yeah.
Well, maybe explore it more. I don't know, because the fact that the ancients were a thing, and it just kind of gets glossed over outside of a log entry, kind of blows my mind. Because that was a huge revelation to me, seeing these ancients be so close looking to chaos, and I was like, holy shit, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sonic's just like, yeah, they're ancient. And it's like, okay, I guess we're not going to talk about it.
It's like, yeah, they're ancient. Anything else you want to mention about it? No, not really.
I would
just,
and they're old.
I would like to see a more connected story too. They do a lot of jumping around for Sonic. Like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 just seemed to be, they were as close to each other as what you would expect out of a sequel as far as those two games go. Sonic 1, 2, and 3 were direct sequels of each other, but then all of a sudden they went into this like, Sonic went here on this adventure, and then Sonic went here on this adventure, and then it went here on this adventure, and you just got to piece all this lore together that just doesn't seem like it's really connected. Like I would love to go from I would love to go from Frontiers to a game where it directly references that this was the thing that happened, and now they have to deal with the fallout, or there's something else that springs from that is now they have to deal with.
Right, because I'm sitting here going like, it's weird how Forces, like immediately, it's like in terms of like the canon's like timeline, here we are dealing, it's like with Forces, but it's like if the IDW comics didn't exist, we'd go from Forces to Frontiers immediately, and it's like, didn't Eggman just like fucking like destroy the world? And now we gotta finish all this shit. Why are you three off on like some other type of adventure?
Yeah, Tyler says he loves hearing people yell about Sonic. It's lovely.
It is something special.
It's definitely one of the more cohesive streams we've had.
Yeah.
Oh.
What else? But yeah, it's like we mentioned combat. Have you boys been seeing what's been going on in the art fam? Like, do you guys want to tell them that you're now like members of our new Discord server? I am so happy to have you boys here.
We
Thanks.
are.
Yeah, we're excited to be in there because there's a lot that I want to do personally that I have a hard time doing right now. And I need human anatomy to do that, and so I'm excited to be around people that have a bit more experience in that. Like both Kaylin and I have both talked about like trying to improve our art skills. So we've been kind of in our own bubble for the longest time where we're like trying to improve in our own ways. And so having other artists around is definitely a welcome thing for us both. At least I don't want to speak for Kaylin, but
No, pretty much hit that nail on the head.
yeah.
Yeah. And as the crew, we will have to ask you guys to sacrifice like yourselves. Please put yourselves on the altar. And we will need a picture of your OC's ass. It is mandatory. I don't make the rules, except that I do.
Man, I knew it, but
I heard something about the OC's ass. What?
are
Are we getting Koi's butt cheeks in 2024? Is that what we're getting?
It's like, no, you will have it's like Art Fam Ass Fam membership card made.
See, here's the thing, Quincy, is at one point I do want to be able to draw some more suggestive stuff, so that is definitely on the docket. I need to feel better about how I draw humans.
Don't worry about it, we got you.
Oh, I don't like the shadow.
Why is he biting his lip like that?
What?
Why is he biting his lip like that?
It's not
What?
supposed to look like him biting his lip.
I know, but it's just like, bro looks like he's.
There we go. That's better.
Chaos Riz.
I drew such a nice triangle. Now I want to erase it and actually draw him biting his lip. I'm like, this is a cool little triangle here. I like it. It looks nice. And then I'm like, oh, now I want to overemphasize him biting his lip as a joke,
Right.
and now I don't want to erase it.
Bro is giving me the light skin look.
Oh my god. Oh Christ, man. I don't know. Every time I draw a shadow, I feel like I draw him too wide in the head. And I'm just confused as to how I'm supposed to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit down and really draw Shadow and get him zeroed in on. But I'm excited for what Sonic is so far. It's
Right.
definitely coming into its own again. Oh, daddy. daddy.
It's been nice. It's just been surreal because like more and more things are getting ruined by terrible writing, and I had kind of just accepted that that's where Sonic is. So to see him slowly clawing out of that hole has been like, again, just surreal. Like we went from Lost World, Sonic Boom, to Sonic Frontiers with Kellen Quinn. And
No,
it's
it's
just
like now it's just a matter of, okay, can you keep this stride going for longer than 2 years? Because it's like just as much as we know that this series is prone to bouncing back, we've also seen it dig itself into ruts that it for some reason just keeps digging itself into.
they have dropped the ball before, certainly. That's how you go from Generations to Lost World.
Right. So it's just very much of like, I need to see consistent quality. Is it either consistent quality or bettering quality for me to say, okay, it is going to be really hard from them at this point to fuck up. You've been on a good stretch. It will be genuinely fascinating how you fuck this up.
Yeah, we'll have to write this down in the history books if it goes that way.
And it's just like I have never seen a platform mascot. It's like just fall, rise from grace, to fall back, and then rise from grace again. If you somehow do this a third time, I don't know what to say at this point.
For me, it's gotten to a point now where I'm you know, and Kaylin knows this. I'm thoroughly jaded with the game industry as a whole.
Right.
If Sonic flops again, I'm just gonna take Sonic. I'm gonna do the same thing that I do with Star Wars. I'm going to take what I like from it and leave the rest. And I'm not going to care nearly as much as what I care now. I'm going to fall into groups of people that genuinely want to give Sonic a good story and genuinely want to like make Sonic good. Honestly, it'll be fan games. I'll be more like, I already get more excited about Sonic fan games than I do about actual games. Like Sonic and the Fallen Star has got a sequel coming out soon. Sonic and the Fallen Star is already a really good fan game that's completely 100% original. So whatever the sequel is going to be even better, because this guy is going to definitely get put more effort into the sequel of how it's, you know, supposed to be. SRB2 kart is the most amazing kart racer that I've ever played, and it blows Mario Kart out of the water for me.
Which, by the way, guys, tune in next time once it's finally here and James has everything ready, that we are going to be doing the Sonic Robo Blast kart stream at some point in the future, commentated by yours truly and JR Stan.
Yeah, we're gonna get on that. I need to finish up the Sprite, and we need to make sure that we've got everybody ready to go. I think we're at a point right now where everybody's kind of got a different schedule going on, and so we've kind of fallen out of that cohesion after the last couple weeks. And I want to get back into that. Like, I wanted everybody to have an idea that, hey, this is going to be happening soon, because people have been like, you guys have been asking me like, oh, hey, are we doing that this week? Until I'm like, hey guys, we're doing this. The answer's no. we're gonna do other stuff until I get the Sprite edit done, because that was kind of the draw of the whole thing. It was me getting my Sprite in there, and then we'll race and get a bunch of people in and do the commentating. And so yeah. So once that's all set up, then I'll be like, okay, we're gonna do this now, and we're gonna plan this for this day, and that way everybody's ready for it. Quincy, if your friends in the Discord wanna jump in and play with us, they're more than welcome to. If they wanna, like, you know, it's free. It's free. All they have to do is download the game, and the mod pack comes pre-installed on the server. So all they got to do is, like, when they go to boot up the server, it'll ask them to download a temporary mod pack, and it gets downloaded, and they get to play as whatever character that we have installed on that mod pack. SRB2K is a hell of a ton of fun, Tyler. You're basically playing Mario Kart, but it's Sonic courses. Mod packs allow for even more courses that aren't even Sonic themed, characters that aren't even Sonic themed, a lot of characters that are Sonic themed that you can't get in the game. And it's got a battle mode, your race modes. It's basically Mario Kart, but it's so much more customization involved.
Battle mode peak.
Battle mode is peak. I definitely want to get more races in. I think when we do the SRB2 kart stream, where we got the commentating going on, we'll probably do some races too. I think we should throw some races in.
Okay.
But the battle mode is definitely going to be on the forefront.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Word.
And speaking of our friends in the Discord, I'm just gonna ask the question because I don't want the collab to be announced yet, but I just simply gotta ask if your guys' character, like, honestly, I'll just ask it now. if
Sure.
your guys' character was like in the fighting game, like what type of archetype do you think they would be, and like how would they fight?
Stance change.
Yeah,
Actually, Quincy, did you see the thing that I sent you?
you didn't send me the finished version of it. Like you sent me,
Oh,
it's like yeah, you sent me the whip, but you didn't send me the finished version.
yeah, yeah.
What the heck, James? I thought, like, what the heck, Alan? I thought you loved me.
Oh no, wait. Yeah. There's something after that though. Like I edited it to add sound and stuff.
Ah.
That is in the DMs, and it's like 9 seconds long.
The DMs,
The DMs.
DMs.
The DMs, if you will.
Oh, that's sick.
Dude, do you know what that's a remix of, by the way?
No.
That's a remix of Gamma's theme from SA1, and it goes way too hard for its
Oh,
own good.
that's so awesome.
Anyway, yeah, James, that is the thing that I sent you with the sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I asked you if it was for the collab or whatever, and you never answered.
I don't know if it's even allowed to be because it's only 12 frames a second, and like I don't know the stipulations. But if not, then hey, I still got a cool thing out of it. But that also doesn't answer James's question, or James's part. If I can,
I genuinely don't know what my OC would be, because my OC is very much
Under wraps.
yeah. It's not even so much under wraps. Are we talking about the one I posted in the Discord, or the one I've been trying
The
to
one
do?
in the Discord.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to go with like a streetwear design, like a little bit more cyberpunkish. For her character. So maybe like a tech, like a tech pixie or something. I don't know. That sounds cool.
That actually sounds dope.
puppeteer archetype for no other reason than it'd be funny.
Yep.
You can be the Nappa, dude. You can be the Nappa of this fighting game.
You can be the. It's like you could be the fucking jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
I said Sonny would definitely be the glass cannon type character.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it's like Android. It's like 21 with like her range shit going like mid-screen Mewtwo. It's like S stuff. It's like she's very like combo heavy, but it's like fuck me, get her in the corner and she's dead.
Dude. Oh my word, he's gonna be top tier. What was Nightwing in Injustice? Because if that's a stance change, that's the only one I know. So
I don't know, but it's like I'm not exactly just like more concerned about it's like the moves, but I'm like it's like I have like an entire list of things where I'm like, if I were to ever put like Sonny in a fighting game, these are the types of things that I would it's like basically just come up with.
mm-hmm.
And immediately it's like one of the things that I just thought of was Summer Assault. Like Summer Assault.
Like as a fighting move?
Yeah, Summer Assault.
I like it. I like that a lot. So in the comic, there are basically their version of special moves.
Mhm.
But what's funny is Koi specifically doesn't get one. So he may be unique, and he's the only character in this hypothetical fighting game that doesn't even get supers.
Weird.
So on the other hand, I don't like that, and maybe it'd be that like he has level 1s but no level 3s. You know what I mean?
Right.
That could be cool.
I may be small, but I am a raw level 3.
Here, wait, hang on, Quincy. Because he doesn't have battle burst, but he does have a move. I need to line so many pages.
Yeah.
Quincy, I'm at over like 100 sketch pages right now, and they need to be lined and shaded. It's so much. And that's not even halfway of the first arc. Like, oh, crunchy. I don't know if I've ever conveyed this, but I've written a lot of battle realm.
Narcy says he'll line and shade for you. It won't be good, but he'll do it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh God. But all right, chat. I'm going to kill a stream for the night. I gotta go put my kids to bed. I will be back on next Wednesday. Also, we are talking about adding another day to the schedule. I got to figure out what day it'll be. It's got to be a day that me or my girlfriend does not work. But until then, just keep an eye out for next Wednesday. Tyler, love you much, man. If you're not busy tonight, feel free to hop into chat and we can chat for a little while after I get the kids to bed. But all right, boys, you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you guys later.